Hey guys, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, this is Crusader Kings II, and this is Millennia in the Making Episode 7. We're playing as Duke of Saxony still, and we've managed to expand our realm a little bit, solidify some of our positioning, and last episode I said that we were going to try and take advantage of this particular war here. High Chief Tisbor the Just is attacking, well, he's not technically attacking Count Gindrick here, he's attacking his liege, but he's trying to conquer Messine, which is this county right here, which he's doing a wonderful job at. He's got 33% war score there. What I said that we were going to do was come along, stomp this guy's armies, take out the siege, be really easy, and get our final county in the Duchy of Saxony. We're gonna actually hold off on that for a little bit, just because we don't currently have maximum levies, so we're gonna just let that come back, and we're also just going to quickly have a look at Bretislav. Good Chief Bretislav, our newly acquired vassal, will only give us 18 of his men. He could at most give us 84, so he's kind of... Well, when we send out the order for everybody to send their men and, you know, come and help us out, Lothar here, the Count of Oldenburg, he sends us, you know, hundreds of men. 119 light infantry, 140 guys in heavy armor, 6 of a potential 10 pikemen, 60 light cavalry, and 26 archers. Chief Bretislav sends us 6 dudes with, you know, leather armor, 9 guys in heavy, 1 dude who happens to own a horse, and 2 guys that maybe can pull the string back on a bow. We're really going to have to do something about this. Chief Bretislav is... What I've just done there, I haven't actually explained that in previous things, but if you go to somebody's portrait, any portrait, no matter where it is, and right-click, it gives you 2 options. On the left, you can go to their character bio, and on the right, you can go to their diplomacy menu. You can also right-click to open further sub-menus, but I prefer to deal with the actual menu as it is. So, Chief Bretislav here. He is Slavic, he's Pomeranian, he really doesn't like us. Let's get him shanked. So we're going to choose a plot, hover over the choose a plot thing. We will contribute 19.8% plot power to this, but we can get a plot power of 154.2%. So we've decided it's time for Chief Bretislav to depart this world. Duke Otto and his backers will look for opportunities to kill Chief Bretislav. The higher the plot power, the more likely they are to find openings. We see who we could potentially invite to the plot. Apparently nobody, so that's really news to me, because that shouldn't be a thing. Let's just click on auto invite, just leave it go for a little bit, pump the speed up, and there we've actually invited a lot of people in on this, just automatically. So we're going to uncheck that box and keep it going. You can see we've still got a plot power of 19.8% because these guys haven't joined in yet due to the little black circle up here. That means that they're waiting for answer. Or we're waiting for an answer from them. If that turns green, they back the plot. So, and they also send us a little message. Count Walbert of Shelley is in. Who else? Mayor Karl of Bardowick. Mayor Wilhelm of Jena. And see the plot power is steadily increasing. Oh, that was a big one. Countess Adela of Gottingen. And Prince Bishop Gottfried of Munster. Come on. 90.9%. Oh, it's getting close. That's Bishop Heinrich of Gifhorn. And Count Lothar of Oldenburg, who is my spy master, so it's kind of a good thing that he's involved. 4 left. Okay, Prince Bishop Eckbert of Osnabrück will join in our plot. There we go. Everybody's joined in. So we've got Bishop Siegfried of Peterborn and Mayor Rudolf of Bielefeld. Oh, and Bishop Hermann of Gera. So 125 plot power, we just leave that now. Let it go, let it ride. Here's something important. This is a chaplain event because if you remember from last episode, we sent our chaplain, you can see him on the map just here, into Anhalt to spread the good word of Catholicism. So he's reporting to us that he's managed to convert Priest Kejtan of Magdeburg to the Catholic faith. Praise Jesus. So if we go to Magdeburg, it is now a bishopric and owned by this guy who used to be, well, he's still priest, Kejtan. He may change to being bishop as soon as we click this. Or he'll just stay as being priest. Okay, one of our children, our heir, lacks a guardian. We're going to educate our heir ourselves. We're not going to... You can educate, I believe it's... Oh, this is very strange. This shouldn't be happening. You can educate up to 2 children. So I'm led to believe. Yes, 2 children at a time. I would like to educate my own heir. That would be smart. It would be good. Because that way we get rid of a little bit of the randomness. But it's not letting us do that for some reason. Which is quite odd. So I'm going to click around the diplomacy menus just a little bit to see what we're missing. It seems to want Gottschalk to, you know, go with him. Let's just try rank. No. This is very strange. Very strange. We might give him to Constans if we have to. We might have to do that. I'm going to have a little bit of a think about this. We don't want to give him to anybody for the purpose of getting a little bit more opinion with them. He's too valuable. Let's just see. Yeah, as you see, whichever one of those we click on, it immediately goes to us. We might not be able to educate him because we're out of our realm. We're down in Baden doing something. It's a little odd. But we'll find somebody to send him off to, just real quick. Don't particularly want Gottschalk. I mean, Gottschalk's a pretty cool guy and all. I mean, he won't pass on being strong, because that's a genetic trait, but he'll pass on a decent military stat, just like we would, as well as a lot of these things, potentially. I don't like Constance having the slothful trait. That's the only reason why I don't want to pass him down to her. I don't want to give him to Gomelia because she's Scottish, and she may also try and get him killed. Similarly, I don't want to give him to Trude because Trude is our brother's wife, or widow as the case is in that particular loving marriage. I don't feel guilty about that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, this is quite a difficult decision, isn't it? We can either give him to Almeric or Gottschalk. They're both gluttons, which says a bit. They're both gregarious, paranoid, zealous, and humble. They're both really good at fighting. But fighting isn't exactly what I usually go for in my leaders. Usually I try to go for diplomacy. I'd love to find somebody else with a Grey Eminence career trait to give him to, but we really don't have anybody in our realm who is good at that. Sucks to be Rudolph here, he's celibate. Definitely don't want to give him up. Yes, this is quite a difficult decision, honestly, because he's our heir. We're just going to buy the bullet and give him to Gottschalk, I think. Yeah, we'll give him to Gottschalk. Not exactly optimal. I mean, it might be optimal given our particular situation, but it's not exactly what I would have liked. And we've just got the message that Benedicta Ludolfinger, who is... Oh. She is the daughter of my brother Bruno, who we got killed by imprisoning him for too long, and his widow. So for her, we're going to marry her off to somebody. We're not particularly worried about these claims that she's got, but we'll just educate her in some fashion. You know, we'll actually give it a Constans and see what happens with that. Can't go bad. It could actually go quite bad if we have some sort of emergency. So our levies are slowly regenerating or recovering. I'm still a little leery about going to war so quickly, particularly considering we've got to beat up 714 guys before we can even start besieging the place. I checked before I started recording, and at the time that we began, Great Moravia had 1,400 people to raise, and we've got an event. Last episode, somebody shoved a blue book into our hands, and so we've been studying it. So, the book is gibberish, but also enlightening. But, even if I struggle with some chapters, its mystery still engrosses me. Something is concealed in the book's language, and I am determined to find out what. So, we've got two options. The secret will soon be mine, mwahaha. And the book's secret eludes me. Both of them are kind of the same. They don't have any specific effects. They might have different chances to do something. So we're going to go with the secret will soon be mine. After all, we're quite ambitious. Okay, we've just had a faction start up. I believe it's... Yep, it's in the kingdom, so we don't particularly care about that. This guy probably won't lose too... Oh, okay, so he's just completed that siege, so he's got a little bit less men. Ideally, what will happen is he'll complete this siege here. Okay, what will happen, we'll deal with that pop-up in a moment, but we'll complete this siege, we'll let him complete this siege of this bishopric here, and either win or... Well, he may not win from that. He doesn't have enough war score at the moment to press his claims, like, immediately. And what we're hoping then is that he shifts his army off, so we can come along and start occupying the place, and if he wants to come at us, he has to attack us. It is always better to be attacked than to attack on an army basis. So, the secret within the book still eluded me after several weeks of intense study, wasting time and wasted ink. The man couldn't be anything but a maniac, filling precious parchment with malarkey and incomprehensible symbols. I learned to love books instead. So now what happens is this illumination bonus will be removed, and we will gain the scholar bonus, which increases our learning by 2 points, and anybody else who has the scholar trait gets an additional 20 points of opinion. Learning is important because if we just mouse over these things, you can see that our technology growth is dependent on learning in military, learning in stewardship for economy, and learning in diplomacy for culture. So all of those have a learning component, so yeah, learning is pretty important. Just check this guy's wars. None of these wars are really going anywhere. He's just completed his little assault, and he's moving down to Messian. That's good. What we're going to do is let him complete that move. It is a little bit of a gamble what we're about to do. I don't think that he's got too much in the way of... Yes, this is a simple war. It's only involving one attacker and one defender. It could get bigger. It's unlikely to, but it could. So let me just check the King of Moravia. See if he's got any allies. He has 2 allies, the Duke of Moravia and the Count of Nitra, neither of which he can call to war. He also seems to have a bit of an issue with money. And he's a child, so, you know. Whatever on that account. Okay, this has changed somewhat. The Bishop of Magdeburg, the former priest, now is totally willing to join in our plot. That's because when he was Slavic, he didn't like us, but now that he's a good Catholic, he likes us, you know, all good sort of stuff. So, just waiting on his response. Vikings have showed up again. This is going to be a issue. They're actually in Lundberg, so I'm not too happy about that. Okay, let's chase off these Vikings. I've held down control so that I don't raise my troops up in Lundberg. I have no idea why they're going that way, but these guys can actually go away. I don't need them. So we'll just gather our troops together. The priest, or, well, he's now really a bishop, he will back our plot to kill Chief Bretislav. So we should have, yeah, 145% on that particular thing. We're just going to gather all of our troops together and go scare off the Vikings again. You can see these boats are not in a coastal province. They're in a river. Vikings can send their boats up rivers, big rivers like this, which gets to be really interesting, particularly around this region, because you can get all the way through to the Mediterranean eventually. It opens up some real interesting raiding possibilities. When I played my Viking game, I used to just go and pillage Rome. Just nothing better, because Rome is a single province all by itself. It's got massive amounts of just stuff. You get so rich. It's abnormal. Well, I say that, but, well, it's probably a thing at some stage. While we wait for that, let's just check out England. England really isn't doing much. That's good. While England remains not doing much, I don't particularly care about them. Something's happened to Chief Bretislav here. He's ill. And you know what we do with people who are ill? We put them in control of the central columns of an army. Maybe we won't have to worry about that assassination plot. But no, they're going to flee. Ah, we're actually going to catch the raiders this time. That's fine. So we've caught them. They're not doing great. They've got a guy with 6 martial, a guy with 1 martial, and a guy with 6 martial. We should pretty handily clean them up. And the flanks are in disarray. Flanks do, I believe, 5% extra damage to the column, to the main column. So we're just waiting on that to continue. We've got a faction disband message. Vassal levies have been raised too long, that's alright. And we wiped out the raiding party. Disband those guys, check on how our military's going. Not too bad. This is a plot message. My co-conspirator, Count Lothar, who is our spy master, has hired someone to saw through the supports of the railing on a balcony Chief Bretislav is known to frequent. Someone may soon take a bit of a tumble. That's what she said. And we've got one option, which is to approve a plan. Look out below. This can either succeed, fail, or succeed and people will notice, or fail and people will notice. We don't want anybody to notice. That wouldn't be good. This is quite interesting. We have a cousin over here who is independent. Wonder if he will... No, he does not wish to be our vassal. That's alright. He may not have a choice in the future. Let's just check the line of inheritance. Yeah, nothing going on there. Okay, this event is because we've elected to improve our intrigue stat. It dawns on you one day that there is plenty of intrigue happening right under your nose. Your servants, from the kitchen maids to the stable boys, share juicy gossip with each other on a daily basis. If you want to improve at this twisted game of manipulation and deceit, then perhaps you ought to dive in and join the prattle. 2 options: said and done, we continue this event chain; never, we forget about it. Said and done. And I feel like it's time to go on to oh. Well, this is pretty self-explanatory. Duke Otto of Saxony has succeeded with the plot to kill Chief Bretislav of Anhalt. Unfortunately, the carpenter who weakened the reeling had second thoughts and revealed my involvement. So we've probably got some sort of malice against... Yes, we have a -10 opinion malice with our vassals because we ordered some guy's death. We could also righteously imprison Count Lothar, our spy master, purely because he's the one who actually set up the plot. And we know that Chief Marion, who is this kid, is now the Chief of Anhalt. He doesn't like us, mainly because we just murdered his dad. Because he has the content trait, he's actually a really good vassal if we can convert him. So we're just going to leave our chaplain there, see how it goes. Maybe we could give him 20 gold and he'll just be a little bit happier towards us, but it's kind of not exactly great. And maybe his vassals will hate him and knock him off. Also had a weak claim appear for the county of Cleve, which again it would mean that we're going to war against King Louis the Great, so, you know, let's not do that. Just click around a little bit, see what we've got coming up. Yeah, we might improve our cavalry. The big one here is to improve your military organization. That becomes very useful, purely because of the supply limit and the retinue size limit. You see right now we can't actually get any retinues. That's because we only have a retinue cap of 612, and the smallest... Let me see. Now we could technically create a retinue of 500 men, but we can't actually afford it. It would cost us 48 gold. You know what? We're about to afford it. That is for the cheapest one though, but all of the other ones, their retinue cap usage is just too high. My wife is pregnant! GG me. I would really like it if this medium crown authority could get approved. That would mean that we could just revoke the county of Anhalt, because I believe medium crown authority allows the free revocation of titles from pagans or infidels. The county of Anhalt has been converted to the Catholic faith. So, if we click on the religion map mode, we can see that it is now Catholic. Wonderful. That is very good. He only had a 12% chance, I think. 25% chance of getting that done, as opposed to the 57% chance for converting guys. How's this war going? 60%. We need to jump in on this. So, just a quick check of our military tab. Oh, good. I didn't notice this, but the supply limit of Plauen is massive. We're good on that. We're going to get a skirmish retinue. So we've clicked on that button, it's added it over here. You can see we're now using 600 of the 612 retinue cap. It is currently costing us 0.56 gold per month. That's because we're reinforcing it as fast as it can. It gets 5% of its total every month. We can put that down to half, which reduces the cost, but obviously reduces the rate of reinforcement, or do not reinforce. I'm fine with it reinforcing at maximum. It starts as just one guy, one archer. Every month it'll get 27 more soldiers. That's fine. We're good with that. And the important part is we can declare war while we have this army here. That is very important, and it will continue to be very important. So let's get into that war I promised you all. We can't declare war on Count Gindric, so we're going to have to go to his ultimate liege, King Harold of Great Moravia. Declare war on Plauen. Let's do it. Okay, let's see Well, he obviously won't offer a peace immediately. And we will become this guy's new liege. That's alright, because this guy is Catholic. I should have checked that out a little bit beforehand. But, you know, everything's well that ends well, right? So we click back here to the army tabs, raise up everybody, collect them all, we'll send them over to Weimar. Now this will include our retinue, but that's alright. You can mix and match levy and retinue troops. So they'll all get together very nicely. Our monthly expenses don't seem to have updated, but, you know, however that works. This army up here takes forever to get all the way down to where we want it to go. This is a continuation right here. This pop-up event is a continuation of the previous intrigue event train. Taking part in the gossip sessions of your servants has proved an enlightening experience. Not only have you learned of new ways to obtain sensitive information, but also that one of the milkmaids is secretly carrying the blacksmith's unborn child. Wow, this is like those magazines, the supermarket checkout, isn't it? So, over scandal, we have gained 2 intrigue. That has pumped our intrigue up to 7. We are 1 point short of meeting our objective. So that's wonderful. Now, this is quite interesting. Okay, so the Sorbian War appears to have ended. That's okay. We can still make use of their particular attacks on things. Something very odd has actually happened, though. High Chief Radamil has taken over this province. For reasons, I guess. That's okay, because at the moment, because it's recently conquered by someone... that doesn't actually make any sense to me. I don't know what's happened there. He can't get any levy from this castle. He can only have his garrison here. And I believe it's reduced? No, just the levy is. And the city and the bishop are still recovering from the former siege. So what we're actually going to do, just combine this army up. Yeah, it's good. And slam it in. Oh, that's right. We killed that guy that we kept on putting in charge of an army. Okay, my Chancellor's mission to Baden has been a success. The king is going to get plus 30 opinion. Right there. See, now he's at 56. He considers us dishonourable because we murdered some guy too, but, deal with it, as some fellows may say. There we go, the battle has commenced. All 762 guys against 21. This pop-up event is important. This is a Spy Master event. My liege, the people of Prusa have progressed beyond our own technological level. I have managed to study their advancements, and the documents enclosed here should help us reach their level. I hope you find this to your satisfaction. Okay, so, wonderful. This is the only option. One of 3 things will happen. We have a 33% chance of gaining 50 military tech, or 50 economic tech, or 50 cultural tech. And as you can see here, 50 points is a sizable amount. So, let's see, 54, 94, 104. We've obtained culture tech. With that, we can either improve majesty or tolerance, or save it up for something else, like legalism. Majesty is good because it increases the rate at which we gain piety and prestige. We are already working on that and legalism, actually. You can see we're also getting a little bonus because the Spy Master is studying technology. So that's a flat benefit outside of getting event chains. We're going to hold off on that so that we can get legalism. Because legalism, the next stage, will let us have an additional county in our demesnes. Some bishop guy got imprisoned. As the armies slowly gather here, we just combine them into a single army to make things a little bit easier for us to manage. The militia training ground in Lundberg has been built, so we immediately have a lot more levies to go about doing. And additionally, because the levy size has increased, the garrison size has increased. So, come on little guys, it's not that far along. Vassal's not very happy with us because we're raising their troops up. And there we go, everybody is just sitting here, nice and pretty. Minus 7.5% every month, I believe it is. We've just caught Agnes torturing a rat behind the stables today. If you remember, Agnes is the daughter that we're looking after ourselves. So because this event has showed up, she has acquired the cruel trait. +1 intrigue, -1 diplomacy, plus 10% moral damage in battle, and if she has vassals, -10 opinion. The default option is we lose 5 prestige. She continues to keep that trait, and she likes us a little bit more. We can talk to her about kindness, which 50% chance that she gains the kind trait, which is -2 intrigue, +2 diplomacy. Vassals like it. 40% chance that she loses cruel, and 10% chance of nothing. Or we can pray for her soul. We gain 5 piety. There is an 80% chance of this doing absolutely nothing, which means that she will keep the cruel trait, and a 20% chance of her losing the trait. We're going to talk to her about kindness. She has lost the cruel trait. And as we unpause the game, you can see that her stats have improved a little bit. Let's actually check out... Wow! Okay, this is very good. I think that our guardian here... No, so this is just something that's happened. Some guy got released from a dungeon. We don't care. Ludolf, our heir, has picked up the gregarious trait at some point. That's wonderful. It's completely positive. There's no negatives to it, and it means that he already has 5 points in diplomacy. He's also pretty... like, he's not bad at things, considering that he's a 6-year-old. So, you know, he's kind of good now. Right, Chief Marion here just inherited the Barony of Kurfurt, which is this castle here. He inherited that because the guy died, the guy who was in charge of it died without any heirs. And as he's the nominal liege lord, he gets it. No real problem with that. We're not attracting any army attention that I can see. We'll only get 1 province warning or so because of the fog of war. But I feel pretty good about this. You know. Okay, we've got another kingdom faction turning up. Everybody supports Karl the Fat, who is still leading his revolt against the king. I mean, it's kind of a little bit iffy. The Lothringians appear to have had an independence war at some stage. That must have been what that rebellion was around. And they've actually managed to succeed in pressing their independence. That's why we have a lot of little... Let's just go to the independent. Yes, you can see here the Kingdom of Lothringia is all of this area here, and I think this island here too. Yes, Corsica. But in it, there are also... there's the Duchy of Alsace, there's the County of Pfalz, and what's this? The Prince Bishopric of Trier, the Prince Bishopric of Colne, the County of Gelre? Yeah, and the Duchy of Brabant. And they're all independent. Whereas if you mouse over any other part, you can see Kingdom of Lothringia appearing. So that's interesting. This is amazing. Our spy master is great. We've gotten another 50 points in a random technology group. So we open it up and... economy. So we could invest in church infrastructure. Before I continue, it's very important to notice that these are advancements in the capital. So if we get church infrastructure here, which will unlock the ability to build martial quarters free and church town free in Lundberg, the county of Braunschweig will not have those unlocked. It has to spread naturally, which we can assist in some ways, but it's kind of a little random. It is random. It's very random. So we could... oh my. Oh my indeed. Let's just deal with Duke Otto's upcoming infidelity. in a moment or two. Infidelity is where you play chess with other people, right? But anyway, with our economy advances, we could invest in church infrastructure. That's alright. It's not important. It's not as important as castle infrastructure for us. We could invest in trade practices. That's worthless. That is completely pointless to us at this stage in time. Particularly in our capital. What that would do is give us the ability to build ports, which increases the number of galleys that we can raise up. Or we could go for construction, which reduces the time it takes to build something and the gold cost associated with building something. Let's just try and work around this pop-up here. Have a little bit of a look. We could do with a bit less gold. A bit less gold cost. Because we're only restricted in some technology groups. We can't build castle walls 2 because we don't have improved keeps 2. So to get improved keeps 2, we would need a little bit more. You know, we're actually going to hold on to that until we can get improved keeps or castle infrastructure. So, onto the chess game. I'm beginning to think Trude might fancy me. Now, if we remember, Trude is our brother's widow. I think I actually mentioned that this was a possibility at some stage, so we could either make a move, I will go to her chamber, or it is not appropriate, and I will get some piety. You know, I'm not getting any younger. My wife's pregnant, so that's a bit of a thing. But I'm kind, I'm just, I'm a scholar. I'm really one of those, you know, warrior poets that they kind of talk about, except maybe a little bit fat and balding. Who knows why Trude is fancying me? I mean, my brother had a much better moustache. I don't even have a moustache. I don't even have facial hair. It's not appropriate for a man without facial hair to take advantage of the widow of a man who had facial hair. So we've gained a little bit of piety from our little claim there. And we're just continuing to knock away at the siege. Still no word of a response from Great Moravia here. They might have decided that, you know, bugger it, they'll just let me take it. That'd be kind of nice of them. I doubt it's what they've done, so. Now this is interesting. This is actually very good, and it's kind of a no-brainer. Work can be tedious, and when one problem is solved, another one pops up. I tire of having to complete the same tasks over and over again. I know what you mean, Duke Otto. It's pretty hard to, you know, keep knocking up all these women to get you children, right? I still don't understand why he's bald. So, our options is to let someone else do this, and that gives us a 20% chance of gaining the slothful trait. Completely negative. Nothing good comes from that. It is terrible. -1 to every attribute. Vassal opinion penalties. Terrible. Or, I can rest in heaven. Which gives us a 45% chance of gaining the diligent trait, which is the opposite of slothful, and therefore completely positive. Except against people with the slothful trait. We have gained the diligent trait. That has put our intrigue up to 8 points, which, if we unpause the game, we have fulfilled the ambition to improve intrigue. And we've also had a son born. Guntram. That sounds like some awesome kind of transformer. Guntram. Yeah, we're cool with that name. Now, had a couple of things pick up. First of all, pick an ambition. There are 2. We can either get 500 gold, or try and become King of Francia. We're going to go for King of Francia because getting 500 gold is just ridiculous. We're going to spend all the gold that we have before we get anywhere near that. And our stewardship's already pretty decent. So, King of Francia. We can't cancel that ambition because it's pretty ambitious. And now what's happened here is we've got a message telling us that we're going to lose, if we die, our child, or our heir, Ludolf, will only gain, I believe, Weimar, because it's the title in the Duchy of Saxony. He will lose the county of Lundberg, thanks game, the county of Lundberg, and the county of Braunschweig. They will go to his new brother, Guntram. That's because of the secession laws, because we're running under agnatic, cognatic, gavel kind. We still can't change any of these. I mean, the main reason right now is because we're at war. And also because the Crown Authority is just terrible. We can't do anything to change the Crown Authority. It's not our call. We could go to Ultimogeniture, but, well, Ludolf at the moment is far superior to the newborn Guntram. I kind of hope that we get to play as Guntram, though, just because of his name. We've got victory in the Siege of Plauen here. That's great. And now we're besieging the city of Leipzig, which only has 97 defenders. We will steam through that. We could order an assault, but it's going to take us like a couple of days. There's no point ordering an assault at this stage. That hasn't actually increased our war score all that much. We don't have the ticker yet because we need to occupy all 3 holdings before we get that ticker. That being said, we're going to be occupying them fairly soon. And once we do, what I may do... Oh, very interesting there. What I may do is send the vassal levies away, re-raise my demesne levies, and just sit them in the province. So, my chaplain is pleased to report that our errant subject, Ratislaw Z. Dalminchael, has converted to the Catholic faith. Praise the Blessed Virgin. That was not... Okay, so that was not the current chief, Chief Marion. That was his brother, who still doesn't like us, because, well, he's an idiot to begin with, but because we killed his father. So -10 penalty there. We're just going to have to manage with Chief Marion at the moment. If he was Catholic, we'd get a positive opinion there. This siege is almost over. I told you it wasn't going to take long, and it's not taking long at all. I'm a little concerned about... Okay, that's actually given us a fair amount of war score. It's given us a lot of war score, actually, so that's great. Let's just see... No, see, he won't negotiate. It's only a flesh wound. But it's going to take us a short amount of time to take this bishopric too, so that'll be good. The Pope is dead! Pope Nicholas has died of old age, apparently. And Pope Lucius II... It's kind of an interesting... Oh, this is great. Pope Lucius II, who is a dwarf, has taken over. Good on him. Okay, and so what's happened here? We had the option earlier to improve our trade practices, but over time that's increased naturally and reached the 1st level. So that's what that particular message is telling us. That's kind of cool. So now we just wait for this siege to continue. Cardinal Lieno of Ravello, who has no relation to us whatsoever because he's Italian, was given a cardinal position. So this inheritance is kind of an issue. It's not too bad as long as we only have 2 sons, because then it just sort of splits our things in half-ish. It might be a bit more of a dick than that, but, you know, we'll see. We've got a few options. We can't take advantage of most of them right now because Guntram is still 0. We can't actually plot to execute our own progeny. Not even the daughters. We just can't do it. It's impossible. The game will not let you do it. You can execute your own grandchildren. Well, plot to assassinate anyway. That siege is just 1. But, for example, if we go here to the diplomacy screen, the only way we have of killing off Guntram is to assassinate him for 250 gold. And that is not always successful. So let's just check. Yes, we've got the ticking war score has appeared. So what I'm going to do because I really don't want our vassal levies to increase. They've already at -4. That could get up kind of bad, and we may have to sit here for a little while. We're just going to go to the ledger, to the Independent States tab. Just check Great Moravia. It only has 12,000 men. Let's check our military. We don't exactly have 12,000 men. We're going to hold our vassal levies up a little bit longer. If we wanted to really try and progress the war score, what we'd do is move these guys. Let's just pause it. I'd move them down, select, into Pleasant or Domeslice, and start taking these places. But they may... they don't actually have a bad supply limit, so that's good. One thing to note, the arrow by the cursor hand is green when it's in a friendly or neutral province, and red when it's in a hostile one. We could actually go through Nasani here, and straight into Pleasant like that, or Pleasant, that word, like that. It might take us longer. Normally, if we click, it gives us the optimal route. But let's see, the 19th to get into Bamberg, the 17th to get into Nasani, so it would probably be shorter, and it's just opting for the friendlier way. It is kind of an issue. Let's just unpause it, see how we go. Oh, excuse me. Random event time. A large merchant caravan from distant lands has arrived at the gates of your stronghold. Their leader, a jovial man of massive girth, pleads with you in a strange accent to grant them shelter from the elements of the night. We can either choose very well let them in, or no, these peddlers may sleep in a ditch for all I care. We're going to let them in. There's nothing Duke Otto likes more than another fat fella. As evening falls, the fat merchant sits by the fire and regales you and the rest of the court with stories of his travels. His appetite seems insatiable, but as you do not wish to prove a poor host, you order your servants to bring in a second serving. Tell us more about this mythical realm of Hindustan. That's just letting you know that the event is continuing. And here's the finale. Dawn breaks, and the caravan prepares to move on. The merchant insists on leaving you a gift as thanks for your great hospitality. He shouts a terse command in a foreign language, and a young man comes forward. This eunuch will serve you well, the merchant says. His loyalty to you, his new master, shall be beyond reproach. So we can either decline it or accept it. We're going to get an intriguer named Methodios if we accept it, so we'll just do that. Have a look at our court, order it by name. Here he is, Methodios. He is indeed loyal to us beyond reproach. He's got a special opinion modifier called Loyal Servant. He's not that great in intrigue. It's not like he's better than our current spy master. He's a flamboyant schemer. He's a eunuch, so he cannot reproduce. He's diligent, he's temperate, and he's humble. And he's also Greek Catholic. So, you know, we could get him killed off really easily, but we're not going to do that. So, let's see. This army here has a maximum size of 2,100. That's so low because... we don't have that at this stage because of that retinue, which is slowly reinforcing. And we're very slowly getting war score up. So, what I'm going to do... I can't afford to have these vassal levies raised. So we're going to reorganize the unit. No, we're not. We're going to create a new unit. Find all of our personal retinues. So we've got our actual retinue here. And the personal levies here. And these are the liege levies. So our army size is... well, let's check that out. The one on the bottom here is our current army. 970 men of the maximum of 1,445. And we're just going to send our vassal levies over to Weimar, where we will disband them. And let's see. They've made it to the province, so we'll just disband them. All good. We can check that out by coming up here. We see we've got no vassal levies raised. We could get an extra 81 men. I don't think that's all that important at this stage. It is costing us almost 2 gold to keep them raised, and 0.84 with the retinue. The thing with the retinues, if they haven't been changed in the latest expansion, is that while they are costing us money now, quite a lot of money considering, that cost is only for reinforcing them. It's only costing me that because I'm currently reinforcing them. You can see here the rate of reinforcement. So currently we've gotten about 280 of the maximum 500 that we can get from that one retinue. That cost will go away once the retinue is at maximum. It's kind of a little preview to how Europa Universalis 4 treats armies. But, you know, we'll just keep up with that siege. I'm going to have to reassign a siege leader. We'll put the Bishop of Gera in control of it. And, my bad, we're not actually besieging anything. It's perfectly normal. Just check in on our... I kind of want the center to be stronger than the flanks, so I'm just going to move this guy over to here. So the center is where all the archers are. The other guys just don't have any archers. And we're just going to let that... Okay, that's going to be interesting. We're just going to let this war score tick up, see how we go. He still won't accept peace. He's actually gone a little bit further towards the war footing. Prince Bishop Ludwig of Bremen has inherited the Prince Bishopric of Bremen and other titles from Prince Bishop Rimbert of Bremen. Okay, so this is our new Prince Bishop of the Good Places. Just check the religion tab. What was his name? Heinrich, wasn't it? No. Just mouse over everybody, see what we've got. Ludwig. He currently is giving us money, but in a moment he's going to start giving it to the Pope. Yeah, because this Pope is actually a pretty good Catholic, and everybody likes him, so that's not great for us. I mean, we can't even assassinate... okay, look, let's be honest. We have the Duke of Saxony / Brunswick? Yeah, Saxony / Brunswick. The Pope is the goddamn Pope. We're not going to be able to assassinate him. Yet. So, our monthly income is down a little bit because we've got our armies up and we're reinforcing that retinue. But we're just going to, you know, stay here, let it go. If there's that message that we get for being our King's Marshal, that's great. And yeah, I think that might be a good time to leave it, as not much is happening at the moment. We're just kind of waiting around. So next episode we'll look to complete this. We may send these guys over here to continue waging war on places. It'll be a bit of a waiting game, but I think it could be worth it if we're very tactical in what we do and keep a bit of an eye on what we do. But we'll save that for next time. So, yeah, if you've got any questions about how I'm going about things, what I'm doing, what my plans are for the future, feel free to leave a comment with a question in it, or if you don't have a YouTube account and you know me from somewhere else, well, you know how to get in touch with me. So, yeah, tomorrow we may have some ponies. Just saying, I've been requested to do a video involving a game involving ponies, so maybe that'll come up tomorrow, as well as episode 8. Anyway, I've been Sub, you've been yourselves, later.